Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here on Monday, it is September 17th, 2018. Tonight was Monday Night Raw from Dallas, Texas. We don't have Nick tonight. I'm taking it solo. He had some other things he had to take care of. So let's see who is here in the live chat right now. We do have Luke Might, Louis Salas, Cheyenne Mamba, Shadow 500,000, I guess. Amir Elfire. We've also got Kristen McNutt. We've got Raw Chico, Noah Hall, Teddy25, Woken King Slender. Well, what did you guys think of tonight's Monday Night Raw? You can either let me know in the live chat or you can text it into 510-906-1341. Again, the text number is 510-906-1341. It is on the screen and in the chat. All right, just seeing some stuff here with you guys in the chat. Some of you are asking about Crown Jewel, which we will get to since it was one of the first things they did talk about on Raw. Woken King Slender says, but that doesn't mean there won't be another title opportunity in the future for Braun. Oh, Braun will get another shot. I don't know if he'll win it. Crown Jewel and the Triple Threat, which we'll talk about here in a second. But it ain't over for Braun. So, tonight's Monday Night Raw starts off with a recap, of course, of last night's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Roman Reigns came out, and they interrupted his entrance to show, like I said, the recap. He said the last night was brutal. It didn't go according to plan. He said that he woke up still the Universal Champion, and that's a weird thing to brag about. Reigns said that he knows Brock Lesnar has a title rematch, but wasn't expecting him to kick down the door to hell and take him out. He then challenged Lesnar to come out and take his rematch right here, right now in Dallas, Texas. And then Braun Strowman came out, not Brock Lesnar. Crowd started chanting, "Get these hands." Strowman then went on to say that Reigns should be thankful for Brock Lesnar attacking him last night because that's the only reason he's still the champion. Strowman was very angry at this, kind of pissed off, and Lesnar cost him a chance at the title yet again. He said that he would be the one to get Lesnar next, and when he was done, he was coming after Reigns. Nicholas with a $10 super chat donation says, "Nards, thank you." Corbin then would come out, trying to calm everybody down, both Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. He was like, "Hey. I've got something to say. I've got a pretty big announcement." Corbin said he wasn't as well. He as well wasn't happy with the way that everything went down at Hell in a Cell. He said that he was upset and mad, and he was on the phone all day with Stephanie McMahon. They were trying to come up with a resolution and a solution, and he says that he thinks they did come up with a solution. Baron Corbin would then go on to announce in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on November 2nd, live on the WWE Network, there will be an event called Crown Jewel. That event will be headlined by Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against both Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. So, a triple threat match. Braun Strowman then just starts yelling, "I think that sucks. This sucks. You suck. Roman sucks. The crowd sucks. Everybody sucks. Brock Lesnar sucks. You suck. You suck. You suck." I'm like, whoa. This ain't Kurt Angle. Well, that was kind of weird. He just started going crazy, yelling that, telling everybody they suck, and then he stormed off. But then Paul Heyman comes out. Some stagehands brought out the door that Brock Lesnar yanked off the Hell in a Cell. Excuse me. And Paul Heyman went on to say that Lesnar laid out both men and conquered Hell in a Cell. Chris McNutt says, "Why is WWE doing another all-men Saudi Arabia show on the same week as Evolution? Is WWE trying to steal the moment away from women?" That's just, honestly, all I really know about that is that's the date Saudi Arabia wanted. And Saudi Arabia is paying so much money, they're not going to tell them no. Like, they're getting so much money for Saudi Arabia, they're not going to tell them no. Honestly, I think they knew the Saudi Arabia date before they booked Evolution, and that is why they booked Evolution on the day they did, just to be like, hey, we're going to Saudi Arabia on the 2nd, but just less than a week before, you'll get an all-women show. So, if you look at it, that's how it really does all pan out. I don't think they're trying to, quote unquote, steal the momentum or anything, but I mean, they are making this Saudi Arabia show pretty big with having the first ever WWE World Cup tournament. Zhang Eugene says, WWE loves money, Saudi Arabia gives it to them. That's why. Exactly. So Heyman says that he needed to educate the fans on how valuable Brock Lesnar is and how he was leveraging his star power against UFC and the WWE. He said nothing brought more power than the Universal title. He credited Lesnar with the WWE gaining a multi-billion-dollar television deal and an all-time high stock price, then accused the company of conspiring against him to get the title off of him. Heyman said that Lesnar would reclaim the championship in Saudi Arabia because he was the crown jewel of the WWE. Haha, get it? Crown jewel pay-per-view, crown jewel WWE. Yeah, not that clever, not that funny of a line. Strowman then marched after Heyman, and Heyman bailed. Reigns then snatched the microphone out of Corbin's hand, and Corbin snatched it right back. Corbin would then go on to say, you know, Reigns, I know you're hurt. I know what you went through in Hell in a Cell. I know what the trainers had to help you with last night, basically saying, I got the report from the trainers on all your different bumps and bruises, how you're feeling. And tonight, you're going to have to defend the Universal Championship. But that opponent will be myself, acting General Manager Baron Corbin. So he sets that up for the main event. We then get a promo for tomorrow's SmackDown. AJ Styles versus Andrade Cien Almas. Becky Lynch's championship correlation. And a very, very special guest on Miz TV. Let's see. 304 on the text line says, the crowd was dead and silent the whole 3 hours, which made me bored. No. What show were you watching? Especially for that main event. The crowd was really into it. I don't know what show you were watching, to be honest. But I don't know. I thought the crowd was pretty decent. I mean, that whole main event, every time someone would come out, they'd react, either boos or cheers really loudly. When Nia came out, that crowd erupted. So I don't know if you can really say the crowd was dead and silent this whole show. That's not at all how I saw it, how I heard it. Chris Bennett says, is Corbin abusing his power? We need Kurt back. Well, of course he's abusing his power. He's a heel GM. They always do that. And now I guess Corey Graves is a heel announcer because they're playing up his friendship with Baron Corbin. So we'll see how that goes. But next up, we did get Drew McIntyre taking on Dean Ambrose in a roughly 11-minute match. Ambrose worked over McIntyre's knee early and then later applied a Texas Cloverleaf where all the announcers were surprised because, you don't see many submissions from Dean Ambrose. After McIntyre got a rope break, Ambrose nailed a suicide dive. Ambrose then went to the top rope and he tried to dive from basically the top of the turnbuckle itself, like the turnbuckle itself, not just the top rope, but maybe 3 or 4 inches up higher, to the outside, but McIntyre sidestepped and Ambrose crashed into the barricade. Ambrose barely made it back in the ring before the 10 count. McIntyre immediately caught him with a Claymore kick and pinned him. McIntyre, this guy needs to be Universal Champion, or at least challenging for it, because this guy, he just looks like, and they're pushing him like, and he is a superstar. Crowd, like I said, even with this match, heavily for Dean Ambrose again. Heard them the whole match. So, I mean, I don't know. It's odd that you say, I just can't get over it. It's 3 or 4, saying that the crowd was silent all night. I just didn't see it like that. So we go backstage, and Dolph Ziggler was selling his neck from falling off the side of the steel cage with a Hell in a Cell. He congratulated McIntyre on his win. Corbin showed up and said that tonight would be the Shield's night. Wouldn't be the Shield's night after he takes the title from Reigns. He also heard that Ziggler was invoking his rematch clause. Ziggler was like, wait, no? And Corbin goes, well, you should. Because, Seth ain't even here yet. And if this match goes on and Seth doesn't show up, he forfeits the title, you win the title. And Ziggler goes, wait, I can win the title and not even have to wrestle? Let's do it. So then we're backstage, and we see the Bellas with Natalya. And they were approached by Ronda Rousey. Now, this line by Natty just baffled me why they had to have her say this. So Ronda walks in, and the Bellas are like, "Congratulations, you won. You're still the champion. It's so great. You're a great champion." Da, da, da. Like they're kissing up to her. It's gonna lead to Nikki turning on her at Australia. I could see it now. And Alexa just goes, not Alexa. Ronda goes, "I want to do an open challenge, but how do I do so? What do I need to do? Do I need to just go to the ring? Do I need to talk to Corbin?" And Natty just goes, "Are you really sure you want to do this? But if you do, you just got to do what the men do and go out there and just say, hey, I'm having an open challenge,' and then somebody will come out." Like, why did she have to say you have to do like the men do? Like, that line. It was just, I don't know. The May of Ham says, "Crowd was not silent. If you want a silent crowd, go to Nashville." See, I don't know what 304, I don't know. Anyways, I was reading something in the chat. So yeah, it just baffled me why they made Natty have to say that. She was like, if you want to do it, when the men go out there, like, she didn't have to say when the men go out there. She could have just been like, well, as we've seen in the past, all you do is declare an open challenge, and somebody will come out to challenge. So that was very weird. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode came out to Bobby Roode's music, did an inset promo where Gable said that he feels glorious since teaming with Bobby Roode. Chad Gable would go on in singles competition to take on Victor of the Ascension in a 4-minute match. Victor briefly had control, but there was basically a showcase for Gable with this match, who suplexed Victor over and over and over, and then hit the Chaos Theory delayed German suplex into the bridge for the victory. So with that, after the match, Connor would then run in and hit Gable from behind, knocking him into Bobby Roode. I guess this means next week we'll probably get either Connor versus Gable or Connor versus Roode. One of the combinations. Kayla Braxton then approached Rollins backstage as he was arriving to the building, and she was just like, Dolph Ziggler, he's invoked his rematch clause finally for the Intercontinental Championship. And Seth looks at her and he's just like, "Do what? He what?" And she was like, "Per Acting General Manager Baron Corbin, he did state, if you do not go out there and defend your championship, you will be stripped of the title." And he was just like, "Well, I guess that means I'm wrestling tonight, because you need to remind Corbin, this is still Monday Night Rollins." Everyone asking in the chat where Nick is. Nick's had some other things he had to take care of tonight, so I'm taking it solo. Undertaker came out. Great reaction. Huge pop. He said, "They say delusion is the final recourse for the damned. That no man can spin a web of lies like a man that has a broken soul. And I have never seen anyone with a more broken soul than Triple H." What a line. What a line. He then would go on to mention Triple H's claim that he lost his self-respect is in The Undertaker, but said delusion would be his downfall. Undertaker said that there was a time where Triple H was savage, but now his battlefield was the boardroom, and his life was so filled with lies that he was no longer a decipher of truth. He said that Triple H could see the fear, or he could see the fear in Triple H, and his own friend's eyes would be his demise. Undertaker would then go on to state, if Shawn Michaels is going to be in Saudi or in Australia in Triple H's corner, then I may need to have my brother in my corner. The Brothers of Destruction will reunite as Kane will be in Undertaker's corner in Australia. So the rumors and the actual advertising commercials stating that HBK was going to be the referee, either someone just messed up and made the wrong commercial, or plans just changed. Kind of surprising that Kane's actually going to be there this soon after becoming mayor of Knox County. I didn't expect that one at all. But I see, either way, you have Triple H win or you have The Undertaker win. It doesn't really matter. I can see this match then blending or bleeding over to the Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel show, where it's most likely going to be Undertaker and Kane, Brothers of Destruction, taking on Triple H and Shawn Michaels, DX, in a tag team match. I mean, that's the only logical thing. Undertaker went on to say that he took Michaels' career and he's going to take Triple H's career as well, but Triple H deserves a fate worse than that. He would not only take Undertaker would not only take Triple H's career, but he'll also take his soul. And he finished it, of course, like almost every Undertaker promo, with rest in peace. They then aired a video for Connor's Cure. Sasha Banks and Bayley were on the stage with some kids for representing Connor's Cure, and then we got Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Match was very, very quick. Bayley basically ran in there, hit her with a running knee, Bayley to belly, pinned Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke is nothing more than fodder. So, looking over at the text line, 347 says, "Do you think Raw should bring their gimmick? Do you think Raw should bring their gimmick shows?" I don't understand what you're asking there. Bring their gimmick shows. What? If you're asking, like, bring back Raw Roulette or something, I don't see why not, but I don't see why they would need to either. 646 says, Leo and Lashley, new tag champs. Hey, I can see it, but I got some stuff to talk about when that comes up. So, backstage, AOP is walking through the back, and then Razor grabs the stagehand guy and just looked like he's about to kill him, or Drake Maverick talked him down and saved the guy's life, basically. So AOP would take on jobbers Gregory James and Barrett Brown in a 1-minute match, basically. Really quickly hit him with a super collider, pinned him, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Ziggler was getting ready backstage and seemed concerned now that Rollins had arrived. You know, Ziggler really didn't want to compete anyways, but he did it because he thought he didn't have to compete. Corbin then told him that Rollins was feeling worse than he was. Rollins showed up and said that he wasn't backing down and hoped that Ziggler was ready for a fight. Then we got about a 9 to 10 minute Intercontinental Championship match. Really good match. Both were selling big time from taking the bumps off of the cell through the tables last night. Rollins seemed like he wanted to do a dive early, but instead slid to the outside. Ziggler cut him off, sending him into the barricade as they go to commercial. Rollins made a comeback immediately after the break, hitting strikes in a blockbuster. Rollins fought out of a sleeper hold and hit a ripcord knee for a 2 count. They battled for a little while before Rollins then hit a superplex. Ziggler countered the Falcon Arrow into a schoolboy, holding the tights for the near fall. Rollins then hit the curb stomp for the pinfall. Nice, like I said, 9 to 10 minute match. Nothing wrong here. I loved how they both sold their backs and stuff from falling off the cell through the tables. Because a lot of times, you'll see guys in pro wrestling, not just WWE, but a lot of companies do this. A lot of guys do this. They'll, like one night or the night before, like 2 nights before, they'll take a really big bump where you think, oh man, these guys are really hurt. They got to sell this good. And then they don't. But both of these men came out here and really sold the injuries from Hell in a Cell, and I loved it. So Charlie Caruso comes backstage. She's backstage and she's like, Roman, you know, I'm being told you're considered the underdog tonight against Corbin. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The big dog, the underdog against the acting general manager, Baron Corbin. Like, what? What? Like, who told her that? Baron Corbin? Like, that's ridiculous. Reigns said that he might be the underdog against someone like Lesnar or Strowman, but not against Corbin. He said, and I quote, I'm not going to be the underdog. I'm going to be the big dog. Yeah, he literally said that. WWE then aired a Hispanic Heritage Month video. Rousey then came out, got a pretty good reaction. A few people were booing, but nothing to fuss about. Good Ronda Rousey chants. She then said that she was delighted by the reaction. She gave credit to Alexa Bliss for lasting as long as she did in the match last night. She then said she wanted to be one of the greatest champions of all time, just like the champions she used to watch, like Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and even Ric Flair. She would then issue an open challenge to any woman in the back that had the gumption. Yeah, they used that word, gumption, to challenge her and try to take her title. And then Natty's music hits. And I'm thinking here, you know, Natty's finally going to turn on her. Natty's finally going to, she ain't coming out. What the heck's going on? Natty doesn't come out. And Natty doesn't come out. And then I'm thinking, Natty's going to attack her from behind. Excuse me. And what happens is Natty gets drug out by the Riot Squad, who apparently attacked her backstage. So my question is, where was Brie and Nikki? Weren't Brie and Nikki hanging with Natty? Like, did Natty walk off to go to the bathroom and get jumped? Like, there's a lot of questions here that I want to know about. Like, Natty wasn't rolling by herself backstage when we saw her earlier. So it's like, what happened? Because the Bellas come out like 2 minutes later. Not even that. So they drag Natty out. Riot Squad jumps in the ring, and they lay the boots down on Ronda Rousey. And like I said, within like a minute or two, boom, out come the Bellas. So where were the Bellas to help Natty backstage when she was getting her butt beat? Like, what? I just don't know. So, like I said, the Bellas came down. They helped Ronda Rousey. They played up the fact that, you know, this is going to be our match in Australia. Ronda Rousey and the Bellas taking on the Riot Squad. So with that, the Riot Squad backed up the ramp. They ran off. And, yeah, Bellas were checking on Rousey, but they never went and checked on Natty. Not that I ever saw, at least. So it's just weird that it's like, A, they couldn't help Natty backstage. B, they came out to help Ronda. And C, they didn't even want to check on Natty when she was laid out on the ramp, I guess. Like, really? It's all about, Luca Troller says, Tim, don't use logic. Basically, Nikki wants to make sure Ronda stays healthy and gets to Evolution so then she can challenge her for the title. That's the logic. So Strowman approaches Corbin backstage. Says he wondered why he booked himself in a title match. Strowman then would go on to tell Corbin that he hopes he wins because, he goes on to, I quote, because like I said earlier, you suck, and I know that I can kill you. So basically he's like, I want you to be the Universal Champion because I know, compared to Roman Reigns, I can beat you pretty easily. Elias then came out for a performance. He said, I know how bad this show can be before Elias shows up. And it was just like, okay, cool. Crowd kind of started to boo it a little bit. He said that he would have to deal with Bobby Lashley eventually, a constant disappointment, just like the city of Dallas has with the Dallas Cowboys. Then they really started to boo. He told the fans that were wearing Cowboys jerseys that they were just advertisement failures. He was about to perform, and then Lio Rush came out. I love this. I love Lio Rush tonight on Raw. Lio Rush is a really good talker, and I think having him as Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece, Lashley's okay on the mic, but Lio Rush is good. Way better than anyone would expect. So he would come out, and he'd be like, whose kid is this? Which got a pretty good reaction. Rush then introduced himself as the 23-year-old piece of gold, the man of the hour. Elias didn't care and said security can send him to Lost and Found. Lio Rush then laughed him off and said, the big man has some unfinished business with you. So Bobby Lashley would then come out and to take on Elias, which we knew the match was happening because they were promoting it throughout the night. Lio Rush went over to commentary. Match started during a break, and then Elias had Lashley in a headlock. Lashley came off the top rope, and Elias hit him with a huge knee to the face, which is really good visually. Like, it looked great. With both men down in the middle of the ring, Kevin Owens would come out, and Lio Rush jumped out of his seat. He was like, uh-oh, Owens is here. And so Owens came over to where Lio Rush was, and Lio Rush kind of threw his chair at him, like just rolled it over at him, like a diversion. He would then dodge Kevin Owens as Owens started to throw the chair at him. He would then run down the ramp, but Elias was coming after him. And what did he do? He literally jumped over Elias. Elias then did eventually grab him, and Lio Rush did get away. Kind of like wriggled and jiggled and wiggled out. The referee would then call for the bell, as this would cause a disqualification, as Lio Rush would hit Elias with an enziguri. Owens then caught Rush and tried a apron power bomb. I can't talk right now. And Lashley saved him. Lashley then launched Lio Rush onto Kevin Owens and Elias outside, basically throwing him from inside the ring to the outside of the ring. Lashley then put Rush on his shoulders, and they posed in the ring, and the two looked great together. Like, Lio Rush, like I said on Twitter, looked like a big old spider monkey, jumping around, flipping, and dodging, and dipping, and diving all throughout the arena, or the ringside area. I liked it, and I hope we see way more Lio Rush on Monday Night Raw. Whether he's with Bobby Lashley or not, I think he came off as a star to me. Like, it's a guy that can just be something. Like, he's small. He's not going to get over as, like, a big guy. Not like I'm saying, like, a big buff guy, but he's not going to get over as, like, a top guy. But he was very, very entertaining. One, with his mic work, and two, with his skills just jumping around and just going crazy like a ninja. With that, we then got a selfie promo from Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, and Mickie James. Alexa Bliss claimed that they would all be Hall of Famers as singles competitors one day, but they wanted to be a team for now. Like, what? Alicia Fox, Hall of Fame? If they open a psych ward division, maybe, but I don't know. Basically, they would then go on to challenge Ember Moon to a tag team match and said, hey, find a partner, and you can take on Mickie and Alicia. So, three girls would come down, Alicia Fox, Mickie James with Alexa Bliss, and Ember Moon comes out. And they announce her from Dallas, Texas, as they're in Dallas, Texas. And of course, hometown girl gets a big hometown pop. And so she would come down to the bottom of the ramp, and it would just be like, okay, who's her partner? She's sitting there, and she's smiling, and she's just grinning, and it's like, okay, who's your partner going to be? And then finally, Nia Jax comes out and gets a huge ovation from the crowd, and I mean huge ovation from the crowd. I was shocked with the pop that she got. So Moon nailed both opponents with a suicide dive at one point, but a distraction allowed Fox to push her off, and the heels took over. There was a strange moment where Mickie James went for a cover, but the referee stopped counting. It was weird. It was like 1, 2. He knew Ember Moon was supposed to kick out, but she didn't kick out, so I don't know. Eventually, she tagged in Nia Jax. She ran wild on Alicia Fox. James broke up a cover, so Moon took her out with the Eclipse. This then gave Jax the opportunity to give Fox a Samoan drop, pin her 1, 2, 3. Okay match. Good crowd reaction here for both Ember Moon and Nia Jax, but the match itself was just okay. Corbin was then backstage telling the referee, I want you to call this match down the middle. I want you to be an impartial referee. I don't want you to favor one guy or the other, even though I am your boss now. And call me acting general manager Baron Corbin. I was like, okay, this was not needed. Ooh, okay, Steven. So then they plugged the new Wednesday night lineup on the WWE Network, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 205 Live, 8 p.m. Eastern NXT, and 9 p.m. Eastern Mae Young Classic. We then got our main event, Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Baron Corbin. Reigns was banged up. He sold his injuries from Hell in a Cell. Corbin went for a bunch of quick covers right away. Corey Graves really played up being the friend of Baron Corbin. He kept saying how, I texted Baron Corbin before this match started just to give him some good luck. Like, really? So now Corey Graves is a full, he's got to be a full-fledged heel announcer now. Corbin at one point got hit with a drive-by and came back with a clothesline. Less than 2 minutes into the match, Cole sent us to commercial. After we come back from the commercial, the crowd is cheering on Roman Reigns as he fought out of a rest hold, but Corbin cut him off with a chokeslam backbreaker for a 2 count. Corbin put on another rest hold for a while until Reigns fought out of it and hit a clothesline of his own, jumping clothesline, another clothesline in the corner, and a big boot. Reigns then followed that up with a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Corbin then rolled to the outside, so Reigns would have to go after him, and Reigns gave him a Superman punch. Corbin again went to the outside. Or he got in the ring because he went to the outside, Roman ran after him. He slid back in the ring. Roman slid back in the ring. Superman punch. So he rolled back out of the ring. Chris McNutt, they didn't mention Monster in the Bank to Braun. Yeah, it's just, he failed. It was considered a failed cash-in from what I gathered. For what Christian's asking here in the chat, many people wanted to know, was Braun Strowman's cash-in a failed cash-in, a successful cash-in, or null and void? Will he still have the briefcase, and will he still get to cash it in at a later date? And from the way they played it up tonight on Raw, not mentioning it at all, I just assume the briefcase is gone. It's done. He failed. So Corbin at one point grabbed a steel chair and he threw it at Roman Reigns. Referee then called for, hesitated for a second because he was like, what do I do? Yeah, I do it. And he calls for the bell. So Corbin starts freaking out. He gets disqualified. And he's like, you know what? No. I'm the GM. I restart this match. No disqualification. So he grabs the chair, brings it into the ring, and immediately Roman hits him with a Superman punch. I'm thinking it's like 5 minutes after the top of the hour. Send it home. No. Corbin kicks out. I was shocked. So Corbin gets up. Roman gets up. Strowman then comes down and attacks Roman Reigns. Reigns avoids a shoulder tackle. And Strowman falls out of the ring, hitting his shoulder onto the post. Corbin then hits Reigns with a huge deep six for a near fall. Ziggler and McIntyre would come out. They'd check on Braun Strowman at first before the rest of the Shield, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, would soon follow. Excuse me. They would all battle at ringside for a little while before Seth and Dean would jump in the ring to check on Roman. Then they would hit stereo suicide dives to the outside. Corbin then caught a wind. That's not the word I'm looking for. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me take a drink, guys. Corbin would catch his breath. There's the word I'm looking for. And as he's doing so at ringside, Roman went for a dive. Corbin caught him on the dive with a forearm, though. As Roman was jumping over the top rope, Corbin jumped on the apron and just forearm right to the jaw. Didn't matter, though, because Corbin would run in the ring trying to take advantage, get hit with a big, huge spear, get pinned 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is still Universal Champion. A lot going on in this match. I thought it was okay. Crowd was going nuts for this match, especially once we came back from the commercial break. They were just going crazy for everything. And like I said, match I thought could have finished right when Roman hit that Superman punch off of the, right when they restarted the match. But I like how, you have everyone come down here. You're building it up that all these guys are going to be fighting in Australia at Super Showdown. And that's how the show goes off the air. Roman Reigns, still the Universal Champion. Braun Strowman, no longer the Money in the Bank contract holder. That's it. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the text line. 202 says, what Raw Superstars would you pair Drew Gulak with? Now, if Gulak is the manager, it's a tough one. I really don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really anybody that I would, to be honest. Avion Ep says, don't die on us, Tim. We need you for these reviews. What do you mean don't die? Oh, for my coughing, yeah. It's a chronic thing. I don't know why. I have this, cough. It's just always lingering. 646 says, Leo Rush looked like a spider monkey tonight. Exactly the same thing I said on Twitter. 805 says, who do you think will win the Universal title after this Pac versus Shield rivalry? That's a good question. I mean, they could always just have Roman hold it all the way to Mania. I would not be. I don't want to say against seeing that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Have him hold it all the way to Mania, because he's had short title reigns before. Like, all of his other world title reigns have been short. 631 says Braun is the fourth person not to win from the title cash-in. Fourth? I thought it was the third. Cena, Sandow. Oh, Corbin. Why couldn't I think of Corbin? Cena, Sandow, Corbin, Strowman. Yeah, but they're never going to say that he failed. I just have that feeling they're never going to say that Corbin actually failed. Or not Corbin, Strowman. Because they said multiple times tonight that Corbin failed. 540 says, I wanted both of your thoughts on Dana Brooke going solo. Well, it's a whatever. To be honest, couldn't really care less. She hasn't done anything to impress me in the past. She hasn't done anything that I can see that she's going to impress me in the future. So it's just like, it's another girl that they can just keep beating. But with that, we're going to wrap it up here for tonight's Monday Night Raw review. You'll follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, right here on YouTube, on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Also, go follow our friends over there at Fightful.com. We will be back tomorrow night for the SmackDown Live review. I think Nick should be back with me. I'll have to double check on that one. But again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We'll see you again live tomorrow night after SmackDown. Good night, guys.